Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSTK News Channel. I'm your reporter Liow Ting Yi, out from the studio. Today we are going to bring you into city Sedang. Sedang city actually is a place that's full of a lot of infrastructures and a lot of buildings. But behind the scenes, actually we have some places that are poorly managed. Well, from scenes we actually can see that the wooden houses has collapsed and due to the degradations of the wood. So actually every wood has their natural durability. What is natural durability? Natural durability is a natural resistance of hardwood to decay. Basically we have two standards. We are ASTM and AWPA standard to determine the natural durabilities of the wood. And we have 5 decay resistant class, which are from class 1, very resistant, to the last class, perishable. And basically there are 4 factors influencing the natural durability, which are attractive, reduced attractiveness to decay organisms, mechanical barriers, and no active defense. And what causes the wooden houses to collapse? We actually have 4 biotic agents and another 4 abiotic agents. The 4 biotic agents for wood degradations, namely fungi, bacteria, wood-attacking insects, and marine borers. Whereas the 4 abiotic agents are weatherings, mechanical wear, such as warpings and shrinking, chemicals, and lastly, extreme heat. So we can see the conditions here. Here is the rivers, which has a lot of water here. So the conditions is considered as very wet and suitable for the wood degradations to occur. Actually, wood is the most critical microbiome requirements for the wood degradations. Water can actually swell the wood and open the polymers to allow the penetration of enzymes to wood and break down the products to organisms. The presence of free water is required for the substantial degradations to occur. So, how can we prevent the wood from decay? There are basically 4 main factors that we been emphasized on, which are the wood source. We can alter the wood compositions and give some toxic treatment before we put in here. And the moistures, of course, we need to keep either to keep the wood dry or to keep the water saturated. And as the conditions we can see here, of course the water is not saturated here, so it's suitable for the wood degradations to occur. The third one is temperature. We have to either keep the wood to be cold or the wood to be hot, because the wood degradations, the best temperature for them to occur is within the 20 to 28 degrees Celsius. And the last is the oxygen. So the wood degradations cannot occur if without oxygen also. So the best way is either we bury the wood or we put them under the vacuum. So there are also some classifications of fungi, which are ascomycetes, deuteromycetes, and basidiomycetes. So the fungi that which will cause decay of the wooden house is namely white root fungi, soft root fungi, brown root fungi. However, the fungi which can cause the wood to discolors are the most substance. So next I will tell you how to detect the wood deteriorate by decays. Actually, we can depend on the change of colors. There are 4 factors that we can detect the wood deteriorates by fungi, which are change of colors, change in odor, which means they have the different smells, change in weight, this one is quite important, and the softening. The wood will become soft and easily we can recognize the decay of the wood by using a knife. So what are the effects of fungal decay of the wood? As what we can see, the density will change. Of course, the density will become lower and the mechanical properties, and they will become less stronger. Like what we can see now, the wooden houses has collapsed, and the MC will also increase, and the electrical properties. And lastly is the microscopic structures. Okay. So actually the stages of wood decay by the fungi at the early stage, the brown root may cause the greatly weakness even at the early stage. However, the white root will only cause the strength of wood to be dropped gradually at the early stage, and until the last stage, the brown root will actually cause the wood to be crushed, and the white root will cause the wooden house to collapse. So at the other side, wood-boring insects also can cause the wood degradation of these wooden houses. There are three different types, which is Coreoptera, or known as beetles, Isotepra, known as termites, and Hymenoptera, known as ants. So the termites that will only cause the degradations of wood in these conditions is the damp wood termites only, because damp wood termites is the one that will attack very wet wood, which not always in the soil content, which are different with the subterranean and the dry wood contents. The dry wood termites. We can actually detect if there is any insect attack. We can actually identify them by knowing the interest of the entomologists and understand some criteria of the identifications of the insects, such as the shape and the size of the exit holes of the insects, directions of the tunnels, the wood edge, and we can even compare the green and dry conditions of the wood which have been attacked by the insects. Okay, so here's the end of my report. Let's back to studio.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our BSTK studio. I'm your news host David Lim, and now I'm going to talk about wood preservation. Okay, so why we have to do, I'm going to teach you all why we have to do wood preservation and how to prepare the material, and why and how to log collection, wood preservation, when to use it, and the process of wood preservation. So as we all know, around the world, wood is like hiding. Wood is mostly used in wood construction material. But one of the disadvantages of the wood material is it is sustainable to the agent of wood deterioration, such as fungi, termite, powder post beetle, marine boreal, and bacteria. So, wood represents the natural composed of cellulose, hemicellulose, lignins, extractive, and inorganic compound. Why we have to do the wood preservation is because it's 80 to 85% of the tropical timber is non-durable wood, and it is because of the climate condition, which is warm and humid, and high number of species of wood deterioration agent, which is like there's a lot of variation of wood deterioration agent, which will causes the decay of the wood, and this will make the wood have a decreasing in habit due to the movement. So basically, wood have a natural durability, which is the lignin in the wood provide a physical barrier to the enzymatic decomposition of cellulose and cellulose. This barrier is breached mechanically by the insect and the marine boreal, biochemically by bark, root, and soft root fungi, and possibly by small non-enzyme catalysts in case of brown function. So we have to do the wood preservation is because it has to protect the wood against any factor, whoever that damage and ultimately destroy it. So the benefit of wood preservation is to increase the wood's life, and possibly to use a large number of species, which is like the better the species is, which is good for the construction material, we can preserve it for a long life and benefit for the consumer and the producer. And we will also saving the resources, such as like we have better that we waste the stock resources that we bring back to sawmill, but it is decayed by the fungi. So Log protection. One of the few ways to log protection is water storage, chemical, modifying the wood cell. What about the wood storage is we transport the wood to the sawmill and then submerge it into the water, and it will remain free from the attack from the fungi. The second will be chemical, which we are go through spray or brushing, such as we are using the chemical which is called benzyl chloride. And thirdly, by modifying the wood cell so that the wood cell is unfavorable to the degradation agent, which is like the fungi or the marine borer that they feel like these wood cells are already not suitable for their food or whatsoever. And we will go through, the wood have to go through laser, thermal and biological processes. So thirdly, I'm going to talk about how to prepare the wood. Firstly, we have to debug the wood, which is like from very advanced country, they use the high pressure jet to debug the wood other than using the knife. And then secondly, we're going to dry. Drying is like one of the most good way to dry the wood. And thirdly is air seasoning. Air seasoning is also a like natural method to dry the wood after we debug. But one of the most commonly used is like killing seasoning, which is like we put it in the bunker and then so that we can control the temperature and control the MC volume. Finally, we have to go through spraying. Spraying also will help us maintain the quality of the wood, and also we can make it more favorable to the consumer to use it. And also by steaming, because steaming, we have to use a lot of temperature, so it's not that favorable because we have to use about 125 degrees, and we have to steaming for 24 hours. That's all from my studio. Thank you. Alright, now we're going to begin to our wood introduction class summary. Come, let's go.
Alright, this is our summary about this whole video. Basically, wood preservation is to prolong the wood and other forest products. This video also ensures we all to learn about biotic and abiotic agents that affect the wood, which is fungi, insect, marine borers, weather and fire. Okay, so here's come to the end of our video. Thanks for watching.